Okay, next category, fat and carb blocking. Just in case you do eat, I want to make sure that you're not absorbing all that you eat. Okay, this is part 2 of how to create weight loss. One of the herbs is Garcinia. Garcinia has also been around for a long time, getting more and more popular. It's actually a fruit called mangosteen, and we don't know the mangosteen much in America. It's the national fruit of Thailand, but it grows all over the world in tropical climates. It's been used for thousands and thousands of years, studied a lot in the last 50 years, and a lot of the buzz is around a chemical in it called hydroxycitric acid, referred to as HCA, hydroxycitric acid. The acid seems to interfere with your ability to digest and assimilate carbs. And what I talked about before is when you consume carbohydrates, like pasta and breads and rice and potatoes, your body turns those into sugar, into glucose. And that glucose gives you the energy that you need to have fun, to be passionate, to be blissed out. Remember, it's part of the game. And the carbs convert to sugar to give you energy. But if you take in more carbs than you need, that sugar then is converted to fat and stored around your body. And a little fat storage is important. We want to have some fat storage. I want to have a little backup, a little reserve. But most of us are plagued with having too much backup in reserve. That's why, pardon my bow, this program was developed. No carbs, don't eat carbs, because you're eating carbs like bread and pasta and potatoes, and those carbs are turning into fat in your body. So they said no carbs. Unfortunately, they told you to eat lots of meat, like the program. That's great if you want to have a heart attack and cancer. So remember, we want to lose weight, but we want to be healthy, and that's why I throw books like this out, or sometimes use them to prop stuff up around the house. Okay, so we need carbs. We need carbs for energy. Garcinia, with the hydroxycitric acid, helps your body stimulate your metabolism. It helps you burn more fat, but it interferes with your body's ability to utilize, absorb carbohydrates. And this is really important because we are all eating too many carbs, or most of us. And this is why we build a lot of fat in our body. So basically, we're blocking carbs. Let me write that on there. Garcinia contains natural plant chemicals that have been shown to block carbohydrate absorption and prevent you from converting carbohydrates into body fat. It has also been shown to suppress the appetite and help you burn up existing fat. We're going to talk about that in the third category called, but I can't use that word. It's illegal for me to use, so I won't be using So it's a 1, 2, 3 thing because it stimulates your metabolism to burn more fat. It suppresses your appetite also, and it blocks the carbs you eat. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you. We like that. Another plant in the formula, this one's really not rocket science, is beans. Specifically white beans, Phaseolus vulgaris, good food. I eat a lot of white beans in Italy, and I live there part-time. Plant chemicals in white beans have been demonstrated to inhibit your body's ability to break down carbohydrates, here we are again, and interfere with the digestion of carbohydrates and sugar, reducing carbohydrate and sugar-derived calories, which reduces the fat you store in your body. Nothing special about these beans, they're plain old white beans. When you eat carbs, as I mentioned, your body converts that into sugar and glucose, which you use for energy, and if you have too much, you store it as fat. There's a chemical in white beans called phaseolamine, which most chemicals are just derived from the name Phaseolus vulgaris is the name of beans. But it's been found that the phaseolamine, okay, I'll back up. If you eat rice, pasta, bread, potatoes, if you chew them long enough, you'll notice they taste sweet. When you're chewing, they begin to get sweet. Bread, it gets sweet. This is one reason we like all those foods. Loaded with carbs, taste sweet. Well, this sweet is because there's a chemical excreted by your saliva and in your digestive system called alpha amylase, and that starts breaking down the carbohydrates into sugar, and that's why it tastes sweet, because you need sugar. Glucose is what your body drives on. Okay. If you eat too many carbs and you break it down into sugar and you have all this glucose, your body then stores it as fat, right? Probably in your ass. Looking to see if you guys, I put you to sleep yet, or you're with me. Or wherever your body decides to store the fat. Phaseolamine has been found to be an alpha amylase inhibitor. It stops this digestive fluid from breaking down the carbs, which is good. It stops it, it slows it, it neutralizes it from doing its job. Currently, extracts of white beans are now used in Europe, all over Europe, for weight loss. They are an EU-certified medical device right now. Europe is ahead of us because they have socialized medicine, which I'm not saying is better, but they're trying to figure out how to get people healthy as cheap as possible. Okay, and so they are ahead of us with things of this nature. It can stop up to 50% of your carbohydrate conversion into glucose and sugar. Many studies, when combined with diet and exercise, it was discovered to significantly reduce body weight, BMI or body mass index, fat mass, adipose tissue thickness, and waist, hip, and thigh circumferences while maintaining lean body mass compared to subjects receiving the placebo. Now, these are European studies. I can't quote them in America. I can't say that too much in this country. Basically, it promotes weight loss by reducing carb-derived calories. So again, we have carb blocking. Next, apple pectin. Soluble fibers block fats. That's the bottom line. And pectin is a great soluble fiber. So is psyllium, psyllium seeds and husk, marshmallow, slippery elm, which are over here. And they're suppressors because they fill you up, but they also block fat. So let me write that on here. Pectin blocks fat. They bind to bile acids and form a thick mucilaginous and gelatinous solution that physically inhibits the absorption of fat. It just surrounds fat and you can't absorb it. The reason I have these statements that I read is because we have to edit the videos so I don't go to jail because there's no great vegan food in prison. And so I always have the official statement, but you guys are getting the whole story. That's the benefit of being here. Pectin, we all know pectin. It's the gooey stuff in apples, grapes. It's what our grandmothers used to make jams and jellies. All the herbal mucil ingredients are loaded with pectin, psyllium, marshmallow, and so on. It swells up and sends you the full message, but it also binds to the bile acids, which are the acids of your digestion. Bile acids are alkaline and bile acids, and you have hydrochloric acid, and it binds to them and doesn't let them do your job or do their job and absorb fat. It's effective fat blocking. So much so that you'll see on all cereals now, if you've noticed, it says promotes heart health on oats and all that stuff, and cereals. It promotes a healthy cardiovascular system because it reduces your cholesterol level. Okay, well, what is cholesterol? A fat. Okay, so fiber and pectin blocks fat absorption. We know that. And then finally in this category is C veggies, I like to call them, which would be specifically bladderwrack and kelp, which I've used almost 40 years for weight loss programs. Seaweeds contain specific minerals and plant chemicals that offer fibrous fat blocking ability. Here we are again, fat. We're blocking fat. They offer fibrous fat blocking ability. They also cause fat trapping and suppress fat absorption. The natural mineral content has also been shown to increase or fat burning metabolism. I can't really say that. There's a chemical in seaweeds, especially in bladderwrack and kelp, called fucoxanthin, and it promotes fat burning. And we're going to talk about that when we get into metabolic stimulants next. So it suppresses fat accumulation, it burns, it blocks, it traps fat. Yes, yes, yes. We want to be able, again, step number one is I want your brain to fool you into thinking you're full before you eat. We use this 30 minutes, and I'm going to get into that over on the other side. 30 minutes before a meal. I want your brain to think you've already ate. Why not? Okay? Especially since it's ruining our game. Being fat's ruining our game. And I also want your stomach to be bloated, full up, so you're full. But I also want to block, just in case you do eat, and just in case you really leap off the program, I want you to block a lot of the carbs and a lot of the fat that you're consuming. That's the first and second part of this formula.